Back to EV Marketplace on a Wednesday night. Thanks for joining me again. Good to see
No,
you.
thanks
And
for having me, Roscoe.
thank you.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you, buddy. And tonight we're talking BYD. We spent a lot of time on Tesla, but time to really get back to BYD because they're kicking goals everywhere. There's news everywhere. And I started talking to you a couple of weeks ago about your own BYD Seal. And I wanted to go back and have a look at that at 50,000 Ks, the ups and downs, the pluses, the minuses, because you did a great thing in the links down below on that experience, and it's still good buying on the used car market as well, and you're enjoying it and loving it as well. But since then, there's been an incredible amount of news with BYD in the V2G space, and then also something special happened today, which I hadn't kept track of, but you were there live, weren't you? So tell me what happened today. Where were you?
That's right. Today I was at the Port of Melbourne to celebrate the arrival of the BYD Jungzhou roll-on roll-off vessel. It's one of BYD's 8 commissioned vehicle carrier vessels, and this thing is an absolute behemoth. It just shows you just how vertically integrated this company
Yeah.
actually is, where they commission and build. Well, they don't build it themselves, but they own this ship and they can use it to move their cars all around the world at the drop of a hat.
Unbelievable. I mean, and they had a special event today that you attended to celebrate this shipment. I think they went out of their way to make sure that Australia had stock when the demand
Mm.
rose recently, and they've been doing really, really well in the EV space, the hybrid space. But they put the ship on specially and brought out how many more cars today in a short space
Uh,
of time?
just under 5,000, so 4,908, which
Wow.
is pretty much at capacity
Yeah.
for this ship, and plenty more to come. Apparently, Stephen Collins, COO of BYD Australia, wanted to get around 30,000 cars onshore by the end of June, and this bringing the ship across is just part of that. This isn't the only ship. There's more coming. Not BYD ships, but just ships in general.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's going to be head to head with Tesla. And I try not to mention them, but they had their new car sales numbers out today. They've had another bumper month, but I think there's no doubt BYD with a massive range, at least 6 EVs that we counted out of all 12 in the range. And only after 3 years in Australia, here's part of the presentation. To go this far, to have a presentation where they're celebrating another shipment coming and the success and how well the company's doing. I'm just overwhelmed myself after a small start only 3 years ago with Luke Todd and the gang, and the Addo 3 where it all started. It just amazes me. You've been invested. You've been following them specifically for a couple of years since you branched out, and has it surprised you how well they've done?
Yeah, even me, it surprised me. I I always had a feeling that if there was one brand that was going to crack it and make it mainstream, particularly out of China, it's obviously got to be BYD. They've
Yeah,
just got the technology,
yeah,
they've got the research and development, they've got the vertical integration behind them. No one else has that level of, I don't know, business acumen, I guess,
yeah.
in the automotive industry. So it was always going to be them. I just did not expect it to happen this quickly.
I mean, so yeah, look, the number of models they've got, and we see the numbers from China, just phenomenal. They're still number one in China by a long, long way, and just the scale
Mm.
and the enormity. And then now the Denza brand, the sub Denza brand, just hybrids as well. But some EVs there in the pipeline, no doubt. I'd love to see a pure EV shark, maybe. But look, yeah, there's just incredible range in the things that they've done at the moment. Let's have a look at the website and just check what they've got here at the moment, because I haven't kept track with the number of models here. What at last count, so this year, after a 3 year standing start, Addo 3 only came out, what, mid 22 now. So 4 years, all right? Yeah, probably
Yeah.
mid 22, 4 years now. That's the model range, 12 models, but hybrids and EVs. And Addo 1, Addo 2, Addo 3, Dolphin, Seal, and Sea Lion 7, all pure EVs, which we're going to focus on tonight.
Mm.
Respect what they're doing with the hybrids, but we're just going to leave that alone. But and you bought the Seal a couple of years ago now, yeah.
2024, at the very start of
Yeah.
2024.
And I'll put you on the spot. If you were buying the BYD today, have you got another favourite you'd like?
Uh, The Seal, I'm still a sedan person at
Yeah.
heart. Like, I drive all their SUVs on
Yeah.
a regular basis,
Mm.
but I just love the way a sedan handles
Yeah.
and drives, and I just enjoy it for the type of driving I do, 'cause
Yeah.
I have a normal 9 to 5 job, so I'm driving to and from work and doing all the kids' runs, like, I
Yeah.
wanna be comfortable for me because 'cause I'm the one sitting in it most of the time, so for me, yeah, either the Seal EV, or perhaps if it came soon enough, the Z9 GT.
Mm. That's the Denza, isn't it? Yeah. Mm.
That's the
That's
Denza,
the
full
Denza.
EV with
Yeah.
flash
Okay.
charging,
And
and sh
that's pure EV. Mm.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. We'll come back to that another time. When you get your hands on that, we're going to come back and have another look at that again. But yeah, look, some family, not some family cars, I guess. Some a Ute, the Shark's done, Six has done really well. Again,
Mm.
if it's a stopgap measure to get people thinking about EVs, I'm happy for them. But I'd love to see a pure EV Shark. They've been doing a lot of other work more recently as well. And I've only just did some work last week with Ross Durango. If you watch the show on V2G, I knew that some manufacturers, it involves the cars and the manufacturers getting involved to cooperate with the chargers and the grid operators to get this thing moving forward. I didn't realize BYD was one of them. And then we saw this announcement with a first trial with Amber. They've taken on another 1,000 owners, and BYD, they're supporting this. BYD cars, I believe, are going to be part of the trial. They've allowed warranty, which might have restricted it to allow V2G, something like that for the trial. Do you know much more about that, Dave?
But just on the V2G side of things, I feel as though, and don't quote me on this, but it's linked very close to V2L, and V2L I know a little bit about.
Yeah,
And I know that there isn't like an industry-wide standard for
yeah,
V2L. So every car is different.
yeah,
And like if you've got a generic V2L charger, it'll work on one car
yeah,
and then you'll plug it into another one and it just doesn't work because it just doesn't handshake properly. And I think that's probably where V2G right now is maybe seeing a bit of a roadblock. There needs to be some sort of standardization across the industry and then every EV can do it because then the battery makers and the EV charger makers can
yeah.
develop their products to work with every car then.
I was also curious because I think the Atto 3 was used in that trial. That was one of the ones that they were talking about. And look, Atto 3, I've got a bit of a soft spot for it. It was the first, one of the first cars I ever drove in. In fact, it was the first EV I drove in. When they set up in William Street in Sydney, mid 22, and I was late 22, and I was starting to have a look. Mrs. Amazing decided that we'd go another direction and buy a Tesla. But yeah, look, that was the first EV I'd driven in properly, and just yeah, it was an amazing experience. And they had a bit of a quirky interior, but they are still doing really well on the new car market and really, really well on the used car market. So I just want to go through a couple of usedies with you because and get your views if you know some people or had some experiences. I know you do mostly new stuff, but again, this is really holding up nicely, and the market's pretty hot at the moment. This one,
Mm.
36,000, 2023 at oh 03. I don't know which spec it is, whether it's a long range or not, but done 50,000 Ks. They're holding up really nicely, and I've seen examples, 2 year old cars, Uber drivers doing 186,000 Ks. So have you seen anything like that at all? Had any issues, any problems with owners around the town?
No, not Atto 3. Atto 3 is just if you looked up the definition of car in the dictionary, it'll have a picture of an Atto 3. It's just a car. It's a
Yeah,
perfect car. It's a
yeah,
perfect size for most. That's why I think it's been so popular.
yeah,
And because it's a BYD, it's already got the reputation of, good reliability because, yeah, there hasn't really been anything systemic that's wrong with it. If
yeah,
there's been problems, it's just been one-offs, which happen
yeah,
with any car,
yeah,
any brand. They'll have one car that does one thing and then that's it. I've got a friend of mine who has owned one since I think 2023. He was one of the first ones to get one, and he's just hit 70,000 kilometers and just had to change his original OEM tires for the first time. So,
that is, I know
yeah,
that's amazing.
it's even they like I remember seeing the original reviews. They copped a bit of bad rap, the
Yeah,
tires, because they weren't very grippy.
that's right.
But they did their job. They lasted a long time. That's the trade-off you make. You either get something durable or something that's more performance driven, and these are definitely durable.
And then, again, I think that you've been more of a student of BYD than I have, but my observation is that this will go down in history as as really cementing BYD's foundation here in Australia and really cementing the EV industry. If you as anything but a Tesla, if you didn't want a Tesla, this was a fantastic choice. And I think a lot of people their entree into EVs was this car, and they've hardly changed the design in 3 or 4 years now, which is unheard of as well. Maybe, and I know there's updates coming in bits and pieces, and there's been some minor cosmetic changes, but that quirky interior has stayed the same, right? And despite lots of comments and lots of variable feedback, it stayed the same. So,
It's
yeah,
it stayed the
you,
same. They just changed the colors to make it a little bit less,
yeah,
vibrant, I guess, a little bit more sedate, and yeah, it's done the job. People don't mind it. It's something you sort of get used to. Like,
yeah,
I've driven it a couple of times, and when you jump into it, it's like, "Yep, okay." But then you drive it for a while, and, like,
yeah.
it's just a car, does its job, and
That
does it
rotating
well.
screen was yeah, it was. I mean, it was quirky but interesting and a nice piece of tech, and yet yeah, some people have got some interesting feedback. But speaking of quirky and interesting, I know the Dolphin came out with a big fanfare launching at SeaWorld 2 or 3 years ago, or maybe a year after. But I know that I think sadly, from what we've seen, they've dropped that Dolphin in that colour, which is a bit of a shame, isn't it? That purple one was a real standout. I haven't got the shots of the interior of this one, but this one has the matching interior as well. So again,
Yeah.
great, holding up great on the used EV market and still selling well new. And at 30,000, good buying. People crying out for small cars. This is still holding up really well. Have you driven one of these? Mm.
I think I don't actually, you know what? I think this is the only BYD car I haven't. I've sat in a few in dealerships, but I've never driven a Dolphin. Out of
I
all
haven't
of them,
either.
that's the only one.
I haven't either. We better get out and drive one. I must. I must. I'm going to go for a test drive on one, or maybe find a customer with one and go and sit in it and have a drive in it because I've seen plenty of pictures, but I haven't driven one either. So
I know I've driven cars that you can't even buy yet from BYD, but I haven't driven this one, and it's been one of their longest selling ones.
this is.
There's been a lot of these quirky colors
Yeah.
from BYD that were pretty popular early on that would be almost collector's items now. Like,
Yeah.
they would charge a premium. You can, because this purple color you can't get anymore. And
Yeah.
this isn't the only one. I was just remembering now the Atto 3. Yesterday, I saw a red Atto 3 drive past, and I
Yeah.
forgot that that car came in red, and you can't get it in red now.
That's right.
I think there was a
No.
green one at one point as well. I don't think you can get that one either.
Everyone wanted a
And it,
black. Everyone wanted a black one when they first came out, and of course, now they're all dark colours, and it's a shame.
yeah,
It's
there's another one that's rare as hen's teeth, and that's the Seal with the white interior. You can get them. I almost got one, and I'm sort of kicking myself now because, yeah, that's nearly a collector's item now because it's been nearly 2 years since you've been able to buy one new, and anyone who puts one up for sale, they just get snapped up
all right. I'll keep.
like
I'm going to keep.
quickly
I'm
as.
going to keep an eye out for that one. It's because the Dolphins up against the Atto one now, and everyone's been crying out for this one. You've driven this one, you drove it in China, something similar.
I drove it in China, drove it here in Melbourne. Yeah, it's a great car. The one in China was just, it's like a little hot hatch. Like, you
Yeah,
just don't expect it. You expect it to be something that's, pretty sensible,
yeah.
but yeah, if you put the foot down, it's got some pep in it.
We found this one on the used car market. It's 26 grand again. It probably looks a bit more dealer demo-y than pure used, but again, drive away 26 grand. I mean, it is perfect for around town. I think it's the base model, but yeah, I
Mm.
mean, a brilliant car. Again, I haven't. I've seen plenty around Sydney already, and but I haven't had a chance to drive this one yet. What more do you want for a perfect little town car? They're asking for small EVs. This is a great example. What's this one new at the moment? We'll have a look at.
And you know what? This is
Uh,
probably going to be V2G compatible.
yeah,
So, like, how much is a home battery of the same capacity? 39 kilowatts or whatever's in this car.
yeah. That's the thing.
Pretty,
Yeah.
Pretty similar
about the
price, actually.
about the
You
cost
can't drive it, but
before subsidy about the cost of this car, right?
yeah.
I know look, it's a very interesting argument. If you've got a home battery already, then you're probably not keen on V2G because you're set with your off the grid
Mm.
style of operation, and you can still get that post-it note yellow on the on the same as the Volvo EX30. Very similar, and but the others are a bit blander now, unfortunately. But
They changed the name of it. So people were arguing whether this is yellow or green,
yeah, that's
and they've changed the name to make it pine lime. So it's like both.
I know. It's one of those internet questions. Is this green or is this yellow? I mean, what do you see? I mean, in this photo, I see more yellow, but yeah, one screen looks yellow, one screen looks green. So that's my color
Oh,
settings.
when you see it in person, it's a lot more of a difficult separation to make. It does look like sort of like a light green in particular light. So it's basically a tennis ball color.
Yeah.
So
Does
it's
that help? That doesn't help either.
no,
Some people see that as green, some people see that as yellow.
exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's exactly what it is. I think
That's
something like the
amazing.
Atto 2 would be a good sort of
Yeah,
Uber starter car because that's a size up from this, get a bit more range. It's really not that much more in price.
I know,
It's a
and
good get.
I skipped it. I couldn't find an Atto 2 on the used market, and we didn't. I sort of skipped over it, but yeah, this again. I still wanted to cover it because do you like this one? Does this slot between the Atto 3 and the Atto 1?
Bigger than the Dolphin. So it's sort of priced at the same price point as the Dolphin, but
Mm,
it's bigger.
okay.
And the reason it's sort of priced the same is that the Dolphin's got a bigger battery in it, funnily enough,
Yeah.
even though it's a smaller car. So you get more range in the Dolphin.
Okay.
But the Atto 2 just gives you more practicality because
Yeah.
it's got a really nice interior. I was surprised. I looked on the outside, it looked like a bit of an older design, but
Yeah.
when you hop inside, it it looks pretty schmick and like pretty clean on the inside.
Yeah.
The Atto 3 is getting an update.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
that that's happening.
Yeah.
The quirkiness is mostly gone, but the guitar strings still stay. That's what I've seen.
And then the Sea Lion 7 I saw on Facebook Marketplace as well. We can't get many listings on Amazing EV. Our own marketplace, they just come and go very quickly. Again, that's the trend that some of the Teslas hang around, but the BYDs are selling very well. And this one I saw Sea Lion 7. This is a big car, 51 and a half grand, and hasn't done many Ks. So amazing price compared to new. So again, the market's up. It's been pretty hot, but I don't know if there's anything wrong with this. I haven't checked it out. I don't know the sellers on this one. I don't know where it is, but just found it on Facebook Marketplace. That's a really good price. What do you think of that?
Want to save yourself 6 grand for a car that's 4,000 k's old. It's already had its first service done to just check all the nuts and
Yeah.
bolts and fluids and make sure nothing's rattled loose. Like that's it. The next service isn't due till 20,000. So
That's no, that's a lot of car for me. I've seen these around. It's bigger than it's massive. It's bigger than the Model Y. It's a lot bigger. You think? Yeah, closer
yeah,
to the new
it's
Model Y long
deceptively
range. Yeah,
big. It feels big. I noticed that when driving it as well. It feels
yeah.
big when you're driving it. It's got the same drivetrain in it as the Seal,
Okay.
but it doesn't feel as big as sorry, it feels bigger than the
Yeah.
Seal
Too big for you.
substantially.
Too big for you.
Um, yes, I would say I prefer the drive dynamics of the Seal,
More of a
to be
you like
honest.
more of a driver's car. Yeah. Mm.
I wouldn't say a driver's car. Just I don't know. I've always had this problem with SUVs is just getting the right seating position. I just
Yeah.
never get it right. I'm either too high or too low. Whereas when I'm in a sedan, I can just
Yeah.
find my cruising position pretty quickly.
I like sitting up high, but getting to the seal, I did find this one as well. And again, that 44 grand. I think this is the dynamic, which is not, if I'm not mistaken, is no longer offered anymore. The dynamic on the seal, yeah. Mm.
No, it isn't actually. I think that just quietly got dropped.
Mm.
There wasn't any major announcement or anything like that. They just
Was that
stopped
the bait?
making it.
was that the base model? Was it the base? And then
Yeah,
you've got the premium, yeah, and then there's
yeah,
the performance above that, yeah,
yeah. And I think the premium is the pick of the lot if
yeah,
you were to get so. Um, there's been a lot of reviews. I haven't actually spent a lot of time in the performance, to
mm,
be honest. But from what I've been told, it has a similar sort of drive,
yeah,
feel, and dynamic as the premium,
mm,
except it's just significantly faster. And for a car with that much power and performance, it should have a bit more of a sportier
yeah,
feel or tune. So premium, but premium just knocks it out the park. It's
yeah.
like the perfect amount of power, perfect drive tune for it. It's such a good buy, and I would say the dynamic would probably be the same as well because it's got a little bit less power than the premium. So
Yeah.
um, yeah,
This
if you don't need all the extra creature comforts that the premium offers, I think the dynamic's pretty good too.
44 grand for this one. Yeah, look, there were premiums going a year ago when they were selling after they were a year old for 45 grand. So this is the dynamic. So yeah, they picked up in price. The premiums are closer to a bit over 50 at the moment. Second hand, still good buying. I don't have to sell you on this. This is a brilliant car, right? For that sort of
Yeah,
money. Again, so one of the reasons I really wanted to have a chat to Dave today was to have a look at his Seal Premium, because he's just done a video, a fantastic video, and because his is just at 50,000 Ks after 2 years, and it's had thousands of views because it just goes through in detail about some of the pluses and minuses, some of the things that haven't worn as well, but overall, incredible car. So again, before we jump in, Dave, how would you sum up that experience after 2 years?
nothing unexpected,
Mm.
to be honest. It's
That's
been
that's a good
an
way to be.
excellent car.
that's a good
Yeah,
that's a good
that's
feeling
all
with a
you want.
car,
Like
right?
things will break, things
Yeah,
will wear, but like you have a certain level of expectation, and
mm,
as long as it's within that, I can't
yeah,
complain. And it's not just BYD; that's with any car. As long
yeah,
as nothing breaks prematurely. And look, there's been you'll see in the video a couple of things that might have prematurely worn down, but they're not deal breakers. They're just things that are easily replaced, or there's aftermarket options available for that type of stuff.
Let's jump into the first intro of this, and then we'll jump to a couple of segments there, which I found really interesting.
I have just clocked up 50,000 kilometres on my BYD Seal, and I'm going to be going through how the exterior's held up, how the interior's held up, and even how the battery has held up on today's episode of Beyond EV, your home for new energy vehicles.
You get to review yourself.
It's very
It's a good.
bassy.
I know you like the look of it. It's a good looking car. It is a good looking car, and the way and you filmed it, and it is a nice looking car. You still love it.
I did. I typically go out in the morning when I do my B-roll shots, but for this one, I typically went. I actually went out at golden hour because you notice, like during the normal shots when I'm walking around, it's really bright and airy because I shot that in the morning.
Yeah,
But for that intro, I made the extra effort to go back out at 6 o'clock at night to get those golden light shots
I
to
know,
make it look as
and
good as it
that
can
is.
possibly look.
And again, for anyone who wants to take shots of a used car to list it for sale, we're talking about the golden hour, that last hour just before sunset. And there's very little shadow, and that's what really upsets any good photo is shadows, too much shadow. So bizarrely, the best time is what they call golden hour, just that hour before sunset when there's very little shadow, the light's a bit softer, and yeah, it makes the car. If you've got a good camera or even an iPhone, it'll adjust perfectly and bring out beautiful shots. And that's the perfect time to take shots if you're listing your used car for sale. So don't forget that. But first up, I guess you covered the paint and a few little bits and pieces in terms of some niggles in the front there. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, yeah, and I actually touched on this a bit. So this is the third review video I've done this. I've also done a
Yeah.
10,000 and a 20,000 K review of this car.
Check that
And
out
I
on
mentioned
Dave on
this,
Dave. Check that out on Dave's channel as well. Yeah.
yeah, I mentioned at 20,000 that I had a feeling that the paint was going to be soft because I copped one chip then.
Yeah.
And since that video, I've copped a couple more. Um, it's probably one of the only downsides with the
Mm.
exterior. And I do recommend you get a PPF wrap, at least just on that
Yeah.
front bumper. The bonnet is fine. Everywhere else is fine. Even the mirrors, they cop, stones
Yeah.
and bugs, and they haven't chipped away. But that front bumper in particular, it's been particularly soft. But like I go in pretty close, and you can see there's only a handful of like stone chips, and yeah, it's you really can't notice it, even on a white car, and that bumper is black underneath, and you
Yeah,
really can't see it. All the spots you sort of see here, they're just
yeah.
it's all bugs. I did my best to wash this car, and then I hit a big bug swarm on the way to this shoot, so I copped a bunch of bugs on the front.
So there's a combination of some small stone chips and some bugs at the front there. So that'll be with
Yeah.
that'll be with any car, but some PPF at the front might help and certainly protect that. They had a small chip on the windscreen as well. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, so that happened like a few days ago, and
Right.
that wasn't a small rock to
Mm.
make that small chip. That was a massive thud, and I it actually startled me when I was driving. It was so loud.
It's
And
very
after it
cool.
happened, there was a big sort of powder circle around it, like it just vaporized whatever it hit it. And then I thought it was cracked for sure. And then I checked it, like it's just this tiny nick, and then like this windshield is just incredible. It's just took it like a champ.
And a week later, it hasn't started to just.
No, I haven't even taken it to get like a resin fill or anything like that because it hasn't needed it.
No.
It's like a little blemish on the surface. It's hasn't gone all the way through or anything.
And interior, again, normal wear and tear. What are you finding there?
Yeah, normal wear and tear. And like I give the establishing shot at the very start of that video and go, just look at this and you tell me, do you see anything wrong with it?
No, it
Because
looks
at a
pretty rare.
distance, I don't.
No, 50,000 Ks. I know they're just not wearing out, right? It just looks clean and nice. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. You go into a brand new one, it'll look very similar. If you look closely and nitpick little things, yeah,
yeah,
you'll find something, but just look at it as a whole, it's held up extremely well, in my opinion. There's one thing in this shot I can see right now that has worn out, and that's the carpet along the bottom. There's a bit of a hole, and that's one of the
yeah.
ones that I pointed out. It could be done a little bit better, but it's the carpet. Like
Mm,
it's not the actual floor, so I can rip those out and just buy new carpets.
yeah,
That's not a problem. The the door trim, there's a bit of a nick in the door.
yeah.
That's common across all seals, so you'll be surprised if you find one without one. If you do, get it
Yeah.
because
You're an easy rider kind of guy.
yeah,
I'm
um,
on the I'm on the side armrest all the time.
no,
I'm
I'm
two
on the
arms back
wing.
on this armrest, but you're an up high easy rider guy.
Yeah, this is on pretty much every seal. So if you find one without one, just get it because like that'll be rare.
And tie and yeah,
um,
interior plastics, piano finish. Yeah,
I see that's another thing that surprised me. Every time I go into a brand new car, and I'm testing brand new cars every
yeah,
week, there's the amount of them that I get in, and the piano blacks already have scratches on them because you just need to have a dusty cloth dragged across it, and it will cause scratching. This is 2 years old now, and there's not a single scratch on any of the piano blacks. It's just held up very well. Even the molded plastics
yeah.
around it, just that satin sort of grey plastic, I thought that would be a little bit, like, cheaper and maybe a little bit, you know, more wearing, but it hasn't. It just hasn't scratched up at all.
Again, I've got to congratulate BYD on the design and the production of this car. Again, this is a 3 or 4 year old car now, isn't it? Really, and
Mm.
very earlyish days. Well, for us, but probably, and even for them compared to what BYD were doing 5 or 7 years ago. What was the boxy one you told me about? The one they brought out for the taxis. Mm.
Oh, E6.
Yeah, that was only 6 or 7 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Maybe eight now, but yeah, this is incredibly advanced and design choices and style, and yeah, I'm impressed with the way it's holding up as well.
I think that's what I like about this car. It's the
Yeah,
particularly the exterior design.
mm,
They've done it so well.
yeah,
It's just not. I don't think it'll age. Like
no,
it's such a modern design. You got to understand. Like we got this car in 2023,
yeah,
but it was already on sale in China for at least a year
yeah,
before then.
yeah,
So this design is about nearly 5 years old
yeah.
now, but it still looks brand new. Like I think I said this in the last video. Like if you'd never seen this car before and you just saw it and it was released today, you'd think it's a nice,
Exactly.
modern designed car. It's just held up so well.
Was this a Wolfgang Egger's design? Do you think or not?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I mean, they must, again, he's former Audi. Audi have gone off the rails. I'm sorry, but the design's gone off the rails. BYD's gain is their loss. The rotating screen, you're impressed by that, but there was something about that you liked as well.
Yeah, yeah. I thought, it's mounted on a motor. That motor has gears. Those gears are going to wear,
Yeah.
which might introduce a bit of play. No, I don't know what the mechanism's made of, but it is just rock solid in either portrait or landscape. There's no rattles. You can sit there rocking it. It just
Yeah.
doesn't move in either position.
Tires, you've gone with some Michelins, I think. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, I went with Michelin Primacy 5s, and
Yeah.
I've got no affiliation with Michelin whatsoever. But this is,
Me neither.
I reckon, the perfect car, the perfect tire for this car. Like in terms of durability and performance, that these will last quite a while.
Yeah.
But I found that wet weather performance on them has been great, like phenomenal. So I don't think they're
It's a non-EV technically spec tire, yeah?
correct. Yeah, there's two Primacy tires. There's a Primacy EV. I think it's called E-Primacy. I I haven't tried it, but I wouldn't recommend it because from what I've heard, it's like a harder compound. That's how they get the durability out of it.
Yeah.
So you lose a bit of wet weather performance, but with these ones,
Yeah.
they're not an EV specific tire, but I think they're great for EVs just because you still get that performance. It handles that instant torque that you get in an EV so much better.
I'm impressed by the wheel. It's you've got no gravel gravel rush on that at all. That is brilliant. Are they all like that?
All but one, unfortunately. Took a corner a bit too sharply at one time, and yeah, one of them's got a bit of a nick, but the rest are fine.
And then, really impressively, I think you did a bit of work with a OBD on the battery as well. So that was yeah. Tell us a bit more about that.
Yeah, so the big standout there is the state of health, SOH, 95.08%. So look, take these with a grain of salt because I don't know how that number's calculated, but it's a good indicator of how much capacity is left in your batteries.
Yeah.
So assuming that, just as an example, if 100% and if your car comes with 500 kilometers of range advertised at 100%, 95 means, you're at what is it, 475 now range. Technically, that's what it should mean, but I don't know how it's calculated and I don't know how accurate it is. So yeah, take it with a grain of salt, I would say. But just looking at the other stats there, you can see the battery cell voltage delta. So that gives you an indication of what the difference is between the lowest voltage cell in the battery pack and the highest voltage cell, and it's only 3 microvolts. So that just tells you that the cells are completely balanced.
Yeah. Have you used this scanner on any other cars, any other BYDs or anything else? Oh.
No, I haven't actually, but now that you've given me the idea, I might actually start doing that.
What servicing have you had it officially at BYD? What servicing intervals?
It's 20,000. So my next one is very soon, actually, at 60,000.
Okay. So basically every year that roughly that's what then, or 20,000 Ks. Yeah.
Yeah, 12 months, 20,000 Ks. BYDs are a little bit different. They every now and then they'll have a major service, and I believe they'll pretty much flush out all the coolant and replace it, and also replace all the motor oil as well because they do use. It's like a diff oil, I guess. It's a very light, thin oil that they use in the electric motors, so that gets replaced during the major services as well.
Hey, look, thanks for that. And I guess final question, if you had the chance, with 2 years of hindsight of owning this car, the market's pretty good at the moment. You thought about selling it and getting something else or even getting a new one?
have thought about it, but haven't really had a need to at the moment. I'm still enjoying it. So right now, no, not really looking at replacing it. It's still a great car.
Yeah.
If anything, if I was to consider another one, I might consider the performance just
Yeah.
because just wanted to go faster. um, but no, it's a great car, and
Yeah.
like the the value of them, I think, has been going a bit up and down. There was a period where they were going pretty cheaply on the
Yeah.
used market, but I don't think that's going to be like that for too much longer because, like I said, they're a phenomenal looking car. They look exactly like the brand new ones.
Yeah.
Um, if you can pick yourself up a bargain, like I don't think they're going to be on the market for too long. And like I'm in a unique position. I'm driving new cars
Yeah.
every week, reviewing new cars every week. I still enjoy going back into my car. That's how I know I picked the right car when I can
Yeah.
go back to my normal daily driver and still love getting in it.
So if you're looking for a BYD or any used car, used sedan, again, you don't need to look at a Tesla. You can look at a BYD Seal and some of the other BYDs as well. Fantastic. I know I was really impressed by the Seal and the Atto 3, and I've really been impressed by what BYD have been doing. It is outstanding. So, hey Dave, thanks for sharing all that with us. It's been a big night, and we
Yes.
really appreciate it. And you've had a big day, but congratulations to BYD for the launch, the magnificent shipment that they brought over here, and all the great work that they're doing way back from the Luke Todd days to now, and all the work you're doing. I've got a chance for you to have a look at your new website as well.
Mm.
You can give that a plug if you like.
Yeah, I've started doing a bit of news. I had my domain set up. I've been trying to get this up and running for a while, so it's been pretty quiet. I haven't really advertised it yet, but I'm just populating it with some news articles now. And I figured I do keep my finger on the pulse, and
Yeah,
I have a lot of access to information and news. So I figured I may as well put it in a place where people can find it. The website's beyondev.net.au. So yeah, check it out. I'll update it pretty much every day as often possible with modern and
cool.
with up to date EV news.
Have you got a mailing list people can join there as well?
Sign up for an
Yeah.
account. There is a newsletter subscription option. If you scroll further down, you can subscribe to it.
Thanks for joining me, Dave. Really appreciate that. You can catch Dave's channel, which is on YouTube, which is
Beyond EV at Beyond EV if you're looking for my handle.
keep an eye out for that because he's doing a whole lot more. So thanks, Dave. We'll say good night and look forward to catching you next time. Open invitation to come back anytime you like. So thanks, buddy.
No worries. I'll take you up on it. Thanks a lot. Thanks for having
Thank you.
me.
Dave from Beyond EV, and he has given us a fantastic update on BYD. They've had a big day with a big shipment and really impressed what they've done. Huge range of new cars, EVs, huge range on the used market now. They're selling really quickly. We're not managing to keep them for very long at Amazing EV at all. They are very popular, holding their value really, really well. I'm Roscoe, and we'll take you out tonight. Thanks for joining us. We'll take you out tonight on the longer version of the ship arriving in Melbourne today, the BYD ship with 3,000 or 4,000, 5,000 cars, I think, on it. That's how big demand is at the moment. I'm Roscoe. We'll see you next week.